Good evening, people. Good evening, people. Arno TV is back with you once again on YouTube. As promised, bringing you more videos about the vile, abhorrent people we discuss on this channel and the kind of world that these people have taken us into. So let's just go over to the internet. Let's just go over to the internet and let me just read you something that I was reading, and to be perfectly honest, I've read and seen quite a number of things on this exact same topic over the last several months. Okay, so what am I talking about? Let's just go and have a read of this article, shall we? So here we are, an article that came out on the 26th of November 2024. So what, 2 days ago? World War III has begun. West not prepared for it, says Ukraine's former military commander. A third world war has already started and is involved, as Russia has involved its autocratic allies in the war against Ukraine, stated Valery Zulini, I think it's pronounced, Ukraine's ambassador to Great Britain and former commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine. So this former commander of Ukraine is openly stating already that in his opinion, World War III has already started. I believe that in 2024, we can absolutely assume that World War III has begun, is what he said. The Ukraine is being attacked by missiles of North Korean origin, Iranian drones, while Russian weapons contain Chinese components, the former four-star general stated. The reason that in 2024, Ukraine is no longer facing Russia, Ukraine is facing soldiers from North Korea, and let's be honest, Iranian-made Shaheds, loitering munitions, are killing civilians in Ukraine quite openly, he said. Thus, he said, the global community must prepare for the Third World War that is unraveling. However, there is still time to stop it within Ukraine's borders. Unfortunately, he noted international partners have yet to fully grasp this reality. Now, as we've been speaking about on this channel and openly warning people, what on earth are these people trying to do? They are trying to drag us into World War III. And I think it's, only fair, from what this former military commander of Ukraine has said, talking about North Korean involvement, Iranian involvement. We also need to point out that American-made and British-made missiles are being fired into Russian territory, provoking people like Vladimir Putin. What on earth are these people trying to do? This is getting beyond a joke. We are teetering on the verge of World War III. What do these people think this is going to achieve? There will be no winners in a third world war, especially if this goes to a nuclear level. What are these people trying to do? Complete annihilation of mankind, because this is where this is heading from these vile, despicable people. And, let me just show you, a news snippet that's talking exactly about this. Let me just play you this.
I do want to continue some international headlines right now. You're taking a look at some video from the Russian-Ukraine war. And I did want to share the very latest as escalations continue between Ukraine and Russia as the war itself continues. This past week has seen the most significant escalation in hostilities that Ukraine has witnessed since Russia's full-scale invasion, and also marks a new chapter in the nearly 3-year war. President Biden reversing a long-standing policy by granting Kyiv permission to deploy American longer-range missiles inside Russian territory. Meanwhile, Russia launched an intercontinental ballistic missile, otherwise known as an ICBM, into Ukraine. 2 people were wounded in that attack, and an industrial facility and a rehabilitation center for people with disabilities were damaged, according to local officials. Now, that attack comes as tensions continue to grow following the U.S. easing restrictions, of course, on Ukraine's use of those longer-range missiles inside Russia. Also, the Kremlin has lowered its threshold for launching nuclear weapons, and President Vladimir Putin has signed a new doctrine that allows for a potential nuclear response, even to a conventional attack on Russia by...
Did you hear that, people? Did you hear that? This is getting very serious. We have Vladimir Putin test firing ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles that are capable of carrying nuclear warheads. What on earth are these people trying to drag us into? These people, like we've told you, it seems that they want to drag us into a full-scale nuclear war this side of Christmas. These people are absolutely despicable, vile, abhorrent individuals who have total disregard for human life. And trust me, people, no one will find it funny when missiles are raining down on this country. What on earth is going on? We've had all sorts of events as well that are going on up and down the UK. I mean, yesterday we had another evacuation, another train station in King's Cross yesterday. We've had airports being evacuated, drones being flown over RAF bases. What on earth are these people trying to drag us into, and what on earth is going on? This is getting beyond a joke, people. This is very, very, very serious, and I am deeply concerned that these warmongers are trying to drag us into a world war. This is absolutely disgraceful and despicable news. And this people is what is going on. And surprise, 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 the UK media, the UK mainstream media, they're silent about this, aren't they? Aren't they? Have you heard anything like this on the UK news? No, you haven't, have you? Because our despicable news want to keep everybody ill-informed. This is just unbelievable. And if things couldn't get any worse, let's just hear what Vladimir Putin has had to say about this. So let's just show you this one.
Our top story tonight on Gravitas is about Russia, or rather, Putin's revived Russian superpower. It has warned the United States. The message is clear. We are losing our patience. Putin's Russia is telling the US, if you want a war against Europe with your long-range weapons, Russia is more than ready.
As has already been said, we will respond to the ongoing strikes on Russian territory by Western-made long-range missiles, including by possibly continuing to test the Oreshnik in combat conditions, as was done on November 21st. At present, the Ministry of Defense and the General Staff of the Russian Army are selecting targets to hit on Ukrainian territory. These could be military facilities, defense industry enterprises, or decision-making centers in Kyiv.
So Vladimir Putin is already testing these hypersonic missiles. When are people going to realise the situation that our vile, despicable leaders are dragging us into? This is no kind of joke, people. This is no kind of joke. We are teetering on the verge of nuclear war. And these people don't seem to care. They do not seem to have any regard whatsoever for anybody's life. So, when I've told you that things are getting very serious and what these vile, despicable people are trying to drag us into, I'm not making this up, This is not some joke. This is where these people have taken us. And you know how I've told you all along that all these people are working hand in hand, and they're all working with the World Economic Forum. Zelensky, yeah? Zelensky, who do you think he's working with? Who do you think Vladimir Zelensky is working hand in hand with. Let's just have a look, people. Oh, that's right. So he's another one, is he? He's another one, is he? That's working hand in hand with the WEF, pushing their globalist, divisive agendas. This is where we are with these people. This is where we are. And, you know, just in case you were wondering, you know, how I've told you that all these people are working with the WEF. Well, Vladimir Putin's no exception of that. Just let me show you something. Just let me show you something about what the unelected world leader Klaus Schwab had to say for himself in 2017 when he was talking about the young global leaders. And if anybody's confused what he means by young global leaders, let me just play this video and you can hear Mr. Schwab talking about young global leaders and their influence on the world.
When you brought the Young Global Leaders Program here for executive education and then the Schwab Fellows. But there are 2 countries in the world now in which the young global leaders have emerged. Tell us just a bit about that in terms of the governance.
Yes, actually, this notion to integrate young leaders is part of the World Economic Forum since many years. And I have to say, when I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But
did you hear that, people? Did you hear that, people? Even Vladimir Putin was a young global leader of the World Economic Forum. So when I've told you people out there that all these people are working together, they're all working hand in hand with the WEF, pushing these agendas, I'm not making it up, you know. This is not something that I come online and just start spouting off without anything to back up what I'm saying. Here it is from the horse's mouth. Here he was in 2017 in front of the press, bragging about how his young global leaders are now running countries. Yeah, this is who we are dealing with, okay? And, you know, these people, these vile people are taking us into a world where we could potentially, well, we are potentially on the verge of a third world war, which could very, very quickly turn nuclear, for God's sake. Is that what people want? So, when I've been telling people how important it is to come up with some kind of solutions and pressure to put on our despicable government in the UK, this is why signing this is so important, a call for a general election. As I've told you, I don't think that this will bring about an immediate general election, but this is about putting huge pressure on our vile, despicable leader, Keir Stalin Starmer and his brown shirts over in Westminster, because left to these people, they will drag us into this conflict. And we are now on 2,877,822 signatures as we speak. It is so important, people. It is so important to share this petition. Get as many people as we can to sign it. We need to start putting some real pressure on our despicable government about what they are doing. Not just to the British people, but on a global basis. These psychopaths are going to take us into World War III. And just in case you wanted any more proof, yeah, where Keir Starmer's loyalties lie, just let me remind you where his loyalties lie, yeah? Just let me remind you where Starmer's loyalties lie.
Let us just ask you quickly, you have to choose now between Davos or Westminster.
Davos.
Why?
Because Westminster is too constrained. And, you know, it's closed and we're not having meaning. Once you get out of Westminster, whether it's Davos or anywhere else, you actually engage with people that you can see working with in the future. Westminster is just a tribal shouting place.
Let us just ask.
So did you hear that, people? Did you hear that? Where does his loyalties lie, Keir Starmer? They lie with Davos. They don't lie with the British people. And what did he say? Oh, I can see meeting people in Davos who I'll be working with in the future. What? Companies like BlackRock who are also working hand in hand with OF. This is the world that these vile, despicable people have taken us into. So as I've said, it is so important that we put pressure on this despicable government. We need to find new leaders, new politicians that have the interests of the British people at their core, okay? And do not drag us into these globalist, divisive agendas and push these never-ending wars, because that is where these people are taking us. We are at a crucial time in our country's history, people. We cannot let these globalists and warmongers take us down this dark road any further. It is time, people. It is time to stand up and be counted. This is about being on the right side of history, okay? Do not find yourself on the wrong side of history, listening to people like Stalin Starmer, okay? These people are absolutely despicable. And as I've told you before, they do not care about you or me. The only thing that these despicable people care about is pushing these vile, globalist, divisive agendas, building this multilateral global system that all these people want to erect, and have us living in a form of slavery where we are in servitude to these people and the organisations that these people are all working with, such as BlackRock and the 1,000 richest companies in the world, okay? The UN, the IMF, all these people are all working hand in hand. It is time, people, to stand up and be counted, because if this goes on much longer, the place we are going to is unthinkable. And as I've told you, these people are trying to take us into the type of a world that is something of the like of the 1930s. This is where we are heading under the so-called leadership of people like Keir Starmer. These people are absolutely despicable, just like I've told you. So for now, I'm going to leave it at that for this evening. But as promised, I'll be back soon with more videos for you about all these people and what on earth they are up to. But if you like this channel, as I've told you before, please like and subscribe to it. And once you've done that, ring the notification bell so I can inform you people out there about future videos that I'm going to be putting out, future streams that I'm going to be putting out, about all these people and the world that these despicable individuals are taking us into. And also, as I've informed you, there's all sorts of interference going on this channel in the background. So it's so important, guys, that you subscribe to this channel and share these videos everywhere, so these people in the background that are trying to disrupt this channel can't get away with it for much longer. But for now, I'm going to bid you a very good evening. Take care of yourselves. Look after your friends, your friends and family and your loved ones. And whatever you do, people, whatever you do, stop listening to people like Stalin Starmer, because these people do not care about you.